anybody. And you just need to see this guy in the ring. For me, he's a freak. I've never seen a fighter event in any discipline to be so moldable and so well-rounded. You know, to come from, you know, a world champion kickboxing. He's now, you know, got the KO of the year last year. I was ringside, watched his fight against Cyborg, and I'm not exaggerating. You know, we've said. He caved his head in. He jumped up and kneed the guy in the face. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. It was sickening to watch, but this is what this guy does, and that's with his legs. With his hands are even more impressive, in my opinion. But it's you'll be very, very entertained in and around outside of what he does in the ring, just his personality and his. Over to you, MVP.
Don't have to finish that, man.
No.
Well, anybody in combat sports is going to be a fan of boxing. You know, boxing's been around a long time. There's some unbelievable champions out there. So it's something I've always been interested in terms of I watch it, you know, watch people fight and enjoy following boxing. And my coach is always making me do, you know, specific rounds. Because we do mixed martial arts, we have to be good at wrestling, we have to be good at jiu-jitsu, we have to be good at kickboxing, we have to be good at boxing. And, you know, he strips it away, and sometimes I'm just doing boxing rounds. And he calls in the best people from all over to just do boxing rounds. And same for wrestling, same for jiu-jitsu, same for everything else you need to know when you're doing MMA. Now, you hit enough people in boxing, it goes around. And as David says, you know, he heard some of the tells, he came down, he's a good friend of the coaches, he came down and watched. And was impressed. This was probably about 4 years ago, and we've kind of always been on and off talking about doing boxing for a while. And obviously, I've had so many things to focus on in the MMA world. It just wasn't the right time. I still got a lot to achieve, and I still want to achieve a lot in MMA. But this was just timed perfectly, you know, along with Richard Schaefer as well. Their partnership, everything just kind of fell into place. So it was just the right time to step over, and I'm excited to kind of put on a show over here.
What I want to thank very much Scott Coker from Bellator as well, to allow one of their athletes to sign a promotional deal with the boxing promotion entity. I think that's unheard of. It's a first. I don't know any other mixed martial arts organization, frankly, which would do that. I think a big thank you to Bellator as well.
Mm-hmm.
Any further questions from the floor?
At the moment, I've just been focusing on rehabilitation. We've been myself and Ishmael Salas have been working behind closed doors. At the moment, if you used to watch one of my sessions, you'd be completely unaware that I had an injury. Just yesterday, everybody watched my session, and everyone's like, "So your leg's okay now?" Then I'm like, "Yeah, it's okay. You know, it feels fine. I've got no pain whatsoever. My right hand's coming over great." So I'm just literally focusing on polishing up my game with Ishmael Salas and looking at fighting, as I said from the start in December. Who that will be against is unknown yet. There's no mad rush for me to announce anything, but you know, I will be back in the ring in a fight that the fans want to see in December.
Any further questions? Yeah.
Stephen, just interested to know how you're going to schedule and promote the whole thing or the end.
Well, with David's fights as well, you know, we get behind, we support our shows. It's something that we always do at UK TV. We try to make sure that we are taking this to as many people as possible, and that's where as a network we have great kind of ability to talk to a lot of people through both our channels and also our social streams and our marketing. So we haven't kind of finalised any plans for that yet, but our intention will be to create the biggest show, the biggest event that we possibly can do, to make it as exciting to viewers and to make it as appealing to viewers as possible. And I don't see any reason why we can't do that.
Any more questions? Great. Okay. Now I think there'll be some photo opportunities up here, and then there's going to be some round tables with the press. Thank you all so much for coming down today. I appreciate your time. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming down here this morning. I know you've all got a busy day, so appreciate you all coming down. Let's just run through who we have with us here on the top table this morning. First of all, we have Steve North, the General Manager of UK TV. We have Michael Venom Page, Willie Hutchinson, Richard Schaefer. I'm Andy Shepherd. We have the Hayemaker himself, David Haye, Joe Joyce, Kees Asfak, Ishmael Salas, and we have Stephen Malt, who is the Brand Director from Betfair UK and Ireland. So, in January this year, we announced a partnership between the founder of Hayemaker Boxing Promotions, former heavyweight and cruiserweight champion of the world, David Haye, and the CEO of Ringstar Sports, Richard Schaefer, to form a brand new boxing promotion, Hayemaker Ringstar. Today, we are very pleased to announce some of the fruits of that partnership, and that comes in the form of a milestone TV deal with the most watched non-public service broadcaster in the UK. That's Dave at UK TV. The 3-year deal will see 5 fights broadcast per year and marks an important move for Dave to continue its sports offerings amongst its other wide range of programming. Dave first entered the sporting arena in January 2016 with David's comeback fight. The show broke network records, peaking at over 3 million viewers. We're in a golden age of British boxing, and this exclusive deal looks to help satisfy Britain's appetite for exciting, free-to-view boxing on a regular basis. The upcoming fights will showcase Hayemaker Ringstar's latest signings that include these gentlemen up here today. So, let's introduce you to them. First up, we have Mr. Joe Joyce. He's the most decorated male amateur boxer in history. He's a European and Commonwealth champion and brought home a controversial silver medal from the Rio Olympics. Many thought that silver should have been a gold. He's been compared to the likes of Anthony Joshua. Indeed, he's been the lead training partner for his for a number of years. And, in AJ's own words, has given him some very competitive rounds of sparring. Joe will be getting to work quickly. At the age of 31, he'll have a sharp trajectory to world titles. Now, Joe, you've been working out of the Hayemaker gym for a while now. What's it like to be part of the Hayemaker Ringstar stable?
Well, it's like a family. I'm fitting in very well, enjoying my surroundings. It's a great gym, and, to be surrounded by great people, it's, it's an honour to be around such, great promoters with, David Haye here and Richard Schaefer. You could, the amount of stuff they've done. I mean, David Haye, in 2 weight classes, he's been in the business over 12 years, and Richard Schaefer, I mean, created and run Golden Boy, so the credentials are there. So I'm just excited. I just want to get back in the ring. I'm raring to go. I'm fit, I'm ready, and I just want to put on some good shows in the future.
And we're looking forward to seeing those shows. Thanks, Joe. Next up, we have Willie Hutchinson. He is Scotland's most decorated amateur in history and a current world champion. He's also a 7-time Scottish champion, 4-time British champion, and former European champion. It's very easy to forget that this guy is just 18 years old. Unsurprisingly, he's tipped to be a very big name in boxing, and we'll be able to follow his journey on Dave. Willie, you're training under Ishmael Salas. You started work with him this week. How's it gone?
It's went very good, yeah. He's a fantastic coach. I mean, unbelievable. I done a 40-minute training session with him the other day. He showed me more than 40 minutes than what I've done in months, like the past year. Fantastic coach, and it just says it. He's trained 19 world champions, so he's very, very good, and there's a good group of lads as well, and we're all training together, so it's going good, yeah, very good.
Well, plenty more to come, I'm sure. Next up, we have Kees Asfak. Asfak has a rich amateur pedigree, having captured Commonwealth Games silver, 2 silver medals at the European Championships and European Games bronze. As a key member of Team GB for 7 years, he's regularly been touted as the successor to Amir Khan's crown. Leesbourne Kes has a widespread and loyal fan base across the UK, who I'm sure are going to be very pleased by today's announcement. Now, Kes, you're coming off a rich amateur career. How excited are you to be turning pro under the Hayemaker Ring Star banner?
I'm very excited. I can't wait to get this show on the road now. It's been a long time coming. I've not boxed for 11 months now with Ismail Salas here, the best coach in the world for me, with David Haye, with all the experience he's got in the boxing world, and Richard Schaefer, the most experienced promoter for me around the world. I don't think I can go wrong. It's all systems go. I can't wait to move up the levels, up the pro ranks, and get to them world titles.
Next up, we have a man who might be a new face to the boxing world, but he's certainly a familiar face to fans of combat sport. And that is MVP Michael Venom Page. He's a 10-time world kickboxing champion and one of the UK's most exciting MMA fighters currently working with the Bellator promotion. He's undefeated in his 12 professional fights at 2 weight classes. And he was winner of last year's MMA KO of the Year. He's an exciting and charismatic fighter who will be, no doubt, looking to put on a show for the viewers. We believe he has the talent to continue his crossover in combat sports, from kickboxing to MMA and now to boxing, and believe he has the ability to capture world titles inside the boxing ring. Now, Michael, I'm sure I don't need to ask you a question. You're a man of many words. I'll just hand the floor to you.
I just took a wrong turning and ended up on stage in boxing. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to run with it. I'm just going to do what I normally do, put on a show. The one and only MVP is just kicked down the door for boxing. That's the last time you're going to see me kicking this, don't worry. I can't wait to put hands on people. And that's what I'm going to do. I do it best, and I put on a show, do it with style. The one and only MVP is here.
He's arrived. He has arrived. Now, Ismail Salas, you're a new face to the Hayemaker Ring Star setup. You are the head boxing coach at the Hayemaker gym. Would you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself and what you make of this young group of talent?
Yeah, good morning to everyone. At first, I'd like to say thank you to Hayemaker to bring me over this, I call it like a dream team. We got all the best guys around. We got David Haye as himself. He's a great fighter. I think in the near future we can be back in the top as he is. Also, we have Richard Schaefer. Richard Schaefer is well known. To me, is one of the best boxing promoter all time. He's a guy who got many champions. He's very experienced. So for me, it's an honor. Plus, we have right now the best young fighter in UK. We have Joe Joyce, we have Willie, and we have Cass, and plus David Haye himself. So to me, it's a great challenge, and I like to take it. And I like to be part, and honored to be part of the Hayemaker team. Thank you.
Thank you, Ishmael. Now, David, this is a pretty stellar lineup you've assembled. A few words from you.
Yeah, I've welcome everybody. Being a boxing promoter is something I've done from the very start. I remember 15 years ago when I turned professional, I remember feeling like these guys were feeling out back. These guys were more nervous about this press conference than they are going to be walking to the ring for their first fight. It's because they're not used to this kind of environment. I remember being exactly where they were, and it was actually quite sweet backstage watching them. They were all sort of fidgeting and all a bit nervous about what they were going to say. But I've been there. I know what it's like. And time's gone real fast. 15 years later, here I am. And I believe I'm going to give these guys the opportunities that I've been fortunate enough to have. You know, I know every character in the game of boxing. You know, I've been there. I've fought for Don King Promotions, Frank Warren, Matchroom. I've been over to the States. I've done it all in boxing, and I believe I have a wealth of knowledge that can guide a young talent to the very top of the division. And coupled with that, you know, my business partner Richard Schaefer, I believe there's nothing we will miss. You know, the one thing I was very adamant on is that the fighters we sign have the capabilities not only to sell tickets or be entertaining, but can win genuine world titles, ideally in multiple weight divisions. And it's taken a while to get the fighters we believe were the right ones, but we have them now, and they're all very different. You've got a 31-year-old heavyweight down to a bantamweight. It's 24-year-old to a Scottish 18-year-old. Or a mixed martial arts specialist. We're really trying to cover all bases, but I truly believe each one of these fighters can get to the very top. And with mine and Richard's guidance, all they need to do is just stay healthy, train hard. They have the capabilities. They have the best, experienced coach, on the planet. Ismael Salas, I've been working with him for a while now, and in the short period of time we've been working together, I feel like a new man. I've just obviously come out of my rehabilitation phase, but I'm enjoying it. I'm happy in seeing these young guys in the gym with me. They're training with me, alongside me, and it's really, really nice to see. And we've got a fantastic journey. Dave and UK TV have got involved. They want to be in boxing. They want to be in sport. They've already threw their hat in the ring in terms of mixed martial arts. They've got BAMA, which is a great mixed martial arts tournament, which they're showing on a regular basis. I actually do some commentary for them also. Now they're getting in with the boxing, and they saw the numbers that I produced on Dave for my first 2 comeback fights, and they were record breaking. And we want to do something similar. We want to aim at the 16 to 35-year-olds, because boxing is in a fantastic place. It really is at the moment. You've got Sky and Matchroom doing fantastic shows, putting on great pay-per-view events. You got Cyclone on Channel 5 did a fantastic show the other day with Josh Taylor and Ahara Davis. It was nice to see Matchroom and Cyclone working together to put a show on for the fans. It's seldom has been a time where boxing promoters work together to give the fans what they want, and it was on a free-to-air platform. It's just a really, really good time in British boxing, and I just want to add to that. I really do. I believe we can, and with these fighters, I believe I've got the perfect opportunity to do something great in boxing and to allow these guys to do what I've done. When I first turned professional, I remember saying I wanted to win as many titles as possible, earn as much money as possible, and get out of boxing with my faculties intact. That was the 3 musts for me. And I've said it. I've said it, and I want all of my fighters to do the same thing. And they all truly, believe me, have the capabilities to do so. So you can watch them for free on Dave and enjoy their journey, enjoy their ride. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Richard, since January, I know a lot of us have been looking forward to seeing what this relationship would bring, and here we are today. A few words from yourself about it.
Yes, thank you. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you from the media to show up today. I know it was a bit early, and I know it's a very busy week for you guys here in the UK. Lots of boxing going on. I think that's great news, so thank you very much. Great to see some of my old friends here from the big fights we promoted, and I look forward, really excited to be working with all of you again and follow the journey of these young fighters up here as they embark to become world champions and superstars of the sport. I like to acknowledge as well a superstar who is in attendance here, one of the most exciting world champions, irrespective of weight class, and that's my good friend Jorge Linares. When David and me, first of all, there was nobody else I would have rather done this venture, embark on this venture here in the UK than with David Haye. I've known David for many years. I was there, co-promoted the event when he became heavyweight champion against Valuev in Nuremberg. So we had a long journey together, and he's truly one of the few people in the sport of boxing I know who does what he says, a man of his word, who is loyal, and so it's really a pleasure to have David as my partner here and embark on this journey together. We, from the very beginning, set our standards very high as it relates to the quality of the fighters, of the athletes, which we want to work for. Yes, you heard right, work for, and not they working for us. So I think that was always my motto in the United States as well. We really work for the fighters. We want to help them, to empower them, and become stars and make a lot of money in the process.
I think with the group of fighters we have up here, we have really a little bit of everything. Fighters who can fight, who have a proven track record, but who are very charismatic as well. Now, that's one thing, but what we needed is we needed a TV partner who can really expose these fighters to the masses. And I think we were pursued by many different TV networks here in the UK. We had meetings with many TV networks, but we really felt very comfortable with UK TV. I didn't know UK TV before, but I have to say this is a group of people which really want to be in the sport of boxing. They want to tell the story of these young fighters, young men, and to be able to work with somebody who is really as excited about them as we are is very refreshing. And I think what is very important as well, that these fighters are not just going to be exposed to boxing fans, because boxing fans, sports fans, will find them. The key for me was to find a partner who is going to expose them to the general market. And the power of the general market, I think, was very well documented, and the great job UK TV with the channel Dave did when David Haye fought his fight there and had these sensational numbers. His next fight David had on pay-per-view, and you saw the results. The results were staggering. It was the highest non-title pay-per-view event in the history of UK boxing. And I'm sure the exposure David Haye got on Channel Dave had something to do with that. So that's exactly what we want to do here. We want to have these young men exposed to the general market and make them household names. And whatever I can do, I'll be happy to do. I'll be happy to take them to the United States as well, build them up there as well. We have that platform available as well, and help them to become global superstars.
Thank you, Richard. I'd like to hand the floor over now to Steve North, the General Manager of UK TV.
Thanks, Andy. Morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. From the channel's perspective, from the broadcaster perspective, we've all said how exciting this is, but it genuinely is exciting. It's such a huge opportunity. We've already mentioned that Dave was the home of David's comeback fights, and they were an enormous success for us last year. We went into that with our eyes wide open and got involved. It was really for us, it was a huge partnership with David to kind of put those fights on. And the results spoke for themselves. Our highest ever numbers, over 3 million people watching the fight on the channel. And I think what was really exciting was that we were taking boxing back to that free audience, and we were giving large groups of people and big audiences the chance to watch these fantastic fighters. So for us, when we then started to keep talking with David and with Hayemaker and with Ringstar about this opportunity, for us it was too good to turn down. Being able to work as a channel with this incredible talent, this incredible group of athletes, Olympians, world champions, European champions, Commonwealth champions. They are a staggering group of people on the stage here, and I'm slightly in awe, slightly scared, sat at the end of this table. But I think that's a good thing for the channel, it's a good thing for the project that we're going to go into. And we can bring a lot to this as well, I think, from the channel. As a network, we can reach over 40 million people every single month. And that's good for two reasons. That's good for us because that means that we can ensure that young male audience that we are trying to attract and we're trying to appeal towards has got fantastic, brand new, original sporting content that they're going to be really excited about. But equally for me, I think it offers a platform to these guys, to these athletes, to take their skills and their abilities and their talents to a wide audience. And as Richard mentioned with David's comeback, I think making sure that large groups of people, which we can do through free-to-air TV, have a chance to see these is a really good thing for their career because it can build up their fan base and build up their success, and that's what we're dedicated to doing. And we're really excited about following their journey, and it is a journey, and we're all going on that journey together, and it feels like it's a really exciting time for boxing, a really exciting time for Dave, and hopefully a really exciting time for all the boxers on the stage.
Thank you, Steve. I'd now like to give the floor to Stephen Malt, who is the brand director of Betfair UK and Ireland.
Yeah, morning. So it's a very exciting time for boxing in the UK at the moment, and I think the partnership between Hayemaker and Ringstar just adds to that excitement within the UK, adds to the dynamic, and as has been alluded to already, when David had his comeback fights on Dave, the numbers were really staggering, and Betfair bought the advertising exclusive bookmaker deals around those fights, and it sort of felt very natural for Betfair as a brand to want to continue that partnership and follow the journey of Hayemaker, Ringstar and all the fighters that are now on board. So it's very important for Betfair as a brand to be around the most exciting live sport, and this felt like a really good opportunity for us to continue and deliver some really great content and build our brand along with Hayemaker, Ringstar.
Thanks, Stephen. We now have the opportunity for a few questions if anyone from the floor has any. Any questions from the floor at all? Don't be shy. Oh, one down there, sir.
Do you know when the first show is going to be? The events?
Yeah, we're looking at the autumn. We're looking at venues and dates with Dave's current scheduling, so we should know in the next week or so.
Great. Any other questions from the floor?
How did the crossover from Michael Venom Page come across, and how did you begin to work with you, David?
Is it asking me or?
But either one.
I'll start and he can finish. Yeah, I've known Alexis and Marius at the London Shoot Fighters, where Michael's based, for a number of years, and obviously I've seen him in action many times. And I've heard the tales of his sparring sessions with some very high-profile British current world champions, and I wanted to see this for myself. So I've been down to London Shoot Fighters and seen him sparring, and thought to myself, there's a lot of talk at the moment of MMA fighters crossing over to boxing, and if there was ever someone to do the transition and do it correctly, it has to be someone with tremendous timing, natural ability, and dynamite in each fist, and MVP definitely has that. So we spoke about it. He's as confident as anybody he can